Hello, this is Ametamartha with Collection Ascension and another pick a card reading with a message from your higher self. This is going to be pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Now we'll go ahead and give you a moment to meditate on which you will choose as we go through a few breath cycles together. Hello, this is the message for if you chose pile number 1. We are using the Antique Anatomy Tarot for this reading, and we have Judgment upright, the Ace of Elixirs in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the Death card also in reverse. Clarified with the Rider-Waite deck with the 10 of Cups reversed, the Lovers reversed, the 4 of Wands reversed, the 5 of Cups upright, and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So now is a time of clearing for you with this Judgment card here. And in Latin, I'm not going to try to read that in Latin, but the translation that this skeleton is holding on a banner is, for you do not know the hour nor the day, or the day nor the hour, I think. Either way, there might be a bit of darkness that you are processing through at this time. And by darkness, I mean what is conjured up in the unknown, in the moments where you're in between surrendering and receiving. Sometimes that place can be very triggering to the reptilian brain because it's our ego's job to ensure that we are safe and in control. And to release control is the very first step to surrender in order for us to be able to fully embrace what we do not know and trust that it is for our betterment. So at this time of transition and an exercise of faith, you might be feeling tempted to have a disbelief that something better is coming. That with this Ace of Cups in reverse with a love potion on the card, the heart center might feel blocked or unable, or that you're unable to be open to the possibility of new opportunities coming to face for you, especially in the emotional field here with the, what would be the Cups suit. And when we're in that state of mind, peace can be overridden with fear. Here with the Temperance card in reverse, we have those hands around the brain. And this is really an opportunity for you to allow yourself to access a sense of power that you have over your own mind. Hold on one second. Excuse me, sir. Now, I've said before, I take everything as a message, and have mentioned before how cats, how cats will come to you and purr to transmute energy. Now, I don't know how they come to that discovery, but as he was wanting more attention and was laying in the way, coming in to purr and receive cuddles, he moved and shifted all of these cards, causing a bit of chaos. And that is how our brains can have the same effect on our situations. Either you can use what comes up in the emotional field and the thought plane to help you transmute that chaotic energy, or it can only just stir up more trouble. It depends on which place you would like to put your focus. And with the Death card immediately coming through after Temperance in reverse here, it's a time for you to be able to let go of those inhibitions and allow something new to be born from that dead way of thinking, allowing yourself to embrace yet another ego death, so that you can receive even more than you could imagine for yourself. And what gets in the way of that in the thought field takes away your perceptions of happiness, takes away your perception of being universally loved and having a connection to your identity being an extension of universal love. It takes away your harmony and sense of celebration and gratitude, and forces you to look at the things that have happened in the past that give you evidence that you need to protect yourself. And though that is not necessarily the worst thing, because as I said, the ego just wants to keep you safe in a world that feels very frightening. But if we are here to learn and to expand and to reconnect to an identity greater than your name and your story, then looking at life that way puts you in a position where you're blinded to all of the possibility that could come to you with this Page of Pentacles. It's like keeping your hands within this garment covered and not in an open to receive position here, just waiting for it to fall into place for you. So I'm going to get some clarification cards from the Antique Anatomy deck. What is this Death card in regards to? We have the Seven of Blades, which would be the Seven of Swords. And the Knight of Rods, which is the Knight of Wands, both in reverse. So as long as you are unwilling to let some of the things that you're holding on to go, the pace of a new beginning offered to you by something greater than yourself starts to slow. The Knight of Wands in the traditional deck is depicted by a knight on a horse that is running. And so that's an indication of fast movement and change in the area of your spirituality, your emotion, or your spiritual connectedness, your intuition, and that type of development. So with that coming out in reverse, your resistance is what's causing the delay. Could you please clarify the blockages regarding the 10 of Cups, the Lovers, and the 4 of Wands, please? With that first shuffle not providing any cards, what I heard from that is that quote about, if you're not feeling the presence of the divine, then you're the one who moved. And that it's, if you're not hearing the voice of your intuition, then your overwhelming thoughts are what is getting in the way of you being able to clearly hear that voice of reason. You have the Star card in reverse and the 3 of Wands in reverse. So with the Star card here coming out, the Star is about wish fulfillment and about connecting to your higher sense of self and the mystery that comes with that. And with this depiction here, we have morning glories around this hand, and around it also are vertebrae. And the vertebrae are a representation of ascension, like, because you have your vertebrae stacked on each other upright, and then also they have a lot to do with the chakra system, since the spine is how we are straight and in order and able to stand. So the perspectives that you are keeping that disjoint you from your sense of connectivity keep you from feeling the way that you are naturally meant to function with an upright spine. They're disjointed as well. And a morning glory, we have the Star, which is a nighttime type of thing. And the morning glory blossoms early in the morning. But also, you can extract DMT or LSA, from a morning glory. And with that, regardless of dabblings with hallucinogens, that is meant to be a very spiritual experience, even though it can be used for pleasure. And a lot of the time when our brains have certain chemicals in them that cause hallucination, what it does is it allows neurological connections to be made. And so if you take up the responsibility to become the embodiment of a being that blossoms in from the night, someone who pulls that wish fulfillment from the darkness and keeps that in your hand. With this depiction, it's almost like with their finger there, they're the one who is causing the levitation of these vertebrae. So you can call into order that uprightness and use your connection with your higher self, or your sense of, or connection to something greater, to cultivate your relationship with the way that you experience life. But with it in reverse, as I said, it's a debilitating belief that causes you to feel as though that is not something you possess. And it throws your 3 of rods or 3 of wands into the reversed position. And the 3 of wands is about being able to take your ideals and your sense of spiritual calling and set out on a path of understanding and expansion through practice in, exercising that intuition, being able to radically become obedient to your inner wisdom. So I feel like that is a call for you to shift your focus so that you can let all of these possibilities come through. Reversal cards sure might have a opposite meaning, but what you have on the table here is judgment, is the Ace of Cups, is the Temperance card, is the Death card, is the 10 of Cups, and the Lovers, and the 4 of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. You have so much coming to you that you just need to get out of your own way to receive. If you feel like you don't have happiness and harmony and love and gratitude in your life, and you feel like there's no possibility for peace and new beginnings, that solidifies that truth. Or it confirms it to be true because of the way that you are looking at life. The focus of your mind creates the establishment of the reality you live, but what's really before you is a lot of abundance here. So how does pile number 1 shift out of this 5 of Cups mindset? You have the Magician, the 3 of Elixirs, or the 3 of Cups, and the King of Elixirs. So with the Magician, that's standing into your own power and fully believing and realizing that you are the one who's in control of your experience, and everything that happens to you is happening within you first. So being able to step back for a moment and really just spend some time with your inward self and ask questions that may lead you to the answers of why you feel inhibited in the first place, the things that are keeping you from believing that you are a powerful magician who is in control of all of the elements which are also reflected within you. Cups being water, being emotion, swords being air, being thought and action, pentacles being earth and your sense of groundedness and your body, your physical experience, and then wands being your spirit, or being fire, being your spirit. So if you can learn, if you can learn that your wishes will be fulfilled just based on your intention and feeling into the power that has, the order, you can connect to intelligent infinity and put these vertebrae into order. It takes the initiative to shift your hand into a new position and allowing yourself to embody this magician here. And then also with the Three of Cups, this is also a celebratory card. And between you and your relationships with others, or any kind of collaboration with your people outside of yourself. And we have the Joy Tonic, a bliss elixir, and a love potion. And though this came out in reverse, I think this is saying before you can start to see an outward experience unfold that will give you new evidence of new belief establishment, you must first go within, because you have a calming tonic here with the King of Elixirs also in reverse. And that just means that you don't feel in control of your emotions. You don't feel like you are the commander of your own contentment and calm. But you are. You can attain anything through feeling. The law of attraction, surrender, meditation, and integration is all about feeling feelings and allowing them to pass through you, allowing yourself to accept them, and then allowing yourself to feel something greater than that as well. So not repelling away from negative feelings and only being driven toward a life full of positive experience, but allowing yourself to learn how to navigate through the things that make you feel stifled, so that you can shift from those lower vibrational feelings and then envision a new life for yourself from that same space, and allow yourself to feel what it would be like to receive that, what it would be like to receive a new beginning, to receive peace, to receive opportunity, harmony, celebration, love, and joy in your life. And then if you feel that, if you allow yourself to feel it as though it's happening real time in a more quantum field experience, that is how you call those things to you. And you can release the control to make it happen for yourself, and then give yourself a little bit of slack. So now I am going to move on to some direct message cards. You have, in every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and an energy of love. Believing that the universe is for you and not against you. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Same with that blossoming flower that comes out of the darkness. It knows the sun is coming. It's waiting in preparation. Then you also have, the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So that's about right on, I think. I'll read those again, but slower, just to let it marinate. Think of a thought that makes you feel disempowered. Hold that thought in your mind right now, and then listen. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring you toward right-minded thinking and an energy of love. When you accept love from the universe as your primary teacher, you will always be guided back to the light. The moment you realign with love, clear direction is presented to you. Now, these are some oracle cards from the Ask Your Guides book. It's written by Sonia Choquette and offers some dialogue on how to interact with your guidance systems. And these are the beings that are around you right now, waiting for you to engage with them and ask them for help if you are interested. You have life force with Aphrodite, invention with the creativity guides, and leadership with the Holy Spirit. I'm going to read from the book to offer more clarity and depth. But if you access your life force, energy, that connectivity to spirit, that allowing that to be your leader in life can help you reinvent your entire experience. Life force with Aphrodite, seduction, libido, sexuality, attraction. Your sexuality is awake and on fire, and your lustier appetites are in search of satisfaction. You're attractive, seductive, and powerful, and a green light of availability to a sexual partner is flashing. Now, just to keep it objective, life force and sexuality and your connectedness to Eros, your erotic manifestation power, it's like your passion and drive can ignite into your life. Whatever you put that focus into, it doesn't have to just be a body against a body. It can be directing that energy and power and attractiveness to reinvigorate your direction. This is what makes the world go round, and nothing is more intriguing and exciting than your life force asserting itself. The key to enjoying this fiery essence is containment. You must control and direct your life force energy rather than allow it to control and overwhelm you. Otherwise, you can become mindlessly addicted to your senses, which can be debilitating and enslaving. Delight in your sensual self, but be discriminating about where it leads you. Use your judgment. Raw life force is best partnered with reason and a greater force of love to bring you to the heightened state of ecstasy you seek. Trust the sensual goddess Aphrodite as she unleashes your passion, but respect her as well. Her message for you is use your fiery passions creatively, not destructively. Reinvention with creativity guides. Adaptation, adjustment, transformation, challenge. Sometimes life gives you lemons, but don't worry. Your creativity guides are on hand, helping you transform your lemons into lemonade. No matter who you are or what circumstances you've inherited, life is always a blend of both positive and negative. Your creativity guides urge you to be grateful for the pulses of your life and to be creative with the negatives. They'll help you use your inventiveness to transform any adverse situation into one for the better. So rather than dwell on your lousy childhood, true though it may be, appreciate the courage it developed in you and use that to change the unsupportive past into a self-reliant present. Rather than endure the unfulfilling job, be resourceful and start the business you've dreamed for years. This is not to deny the pain in your life, but to use it as an incentive to move toward higher ground. Allow your creativity guides to serve you. They're not afraid of the lemons you encounter in your life. gather their juices as fuel to invent much better circumstances, and ask them for inspiration and ideas. They have plenty to share, and their message to you is, when you get lemons, make lemonade. Leadership with the Holy Spirit. Charisma, enterprise, authority, motivation. The Holy Spirit is encouraging you to consciously and fully embrace the leadership role you're craving out of yourself. Though your focus, dedication, stability, and discipline, through your focus, dedication, stability, and discipline, you're emerging from the background and becoming recognized for both your competence and wisdom. Others are naturally attracted to your charismatic vibration and will follow your lead as they rightfully sense that you can be trusted. The Holy Spirit is your guiding force as you motivate and inspire others. Indeed, the very word inspire comes from the word spirit and means to invite or to inhale the Holy Spirit into your life and move you toward your creative spiritual best. The Holy Spirit affirms that your assignment for right now is to shine your light on the world and make no apologies for your enthusiasm or confidence as you lead others to a higher ground. Be mindful, however, not to overdrive yourself and become disconnected from your source, or you risk getting burnt out. Enthusiasm is like fire. It must be contained or it will consume you. The Holy Spirit's message to you is lead with confidence. So pile number 1, I hope that was affirming for you and encouraging for you to make the necessary shifts and changes for you to motivate yourself out of this darker time and step into the light of your true nature. Thanks so much. Hello, this is the message from your higher self if you chose pile number 2. We are using the Cosmic Slumber deck in this reading. You have I did them this way, sorry. The 9 of Swords, the Universe, which I think is an extra card in this deck, the Queen of Swords, the 2 of Torches, the Ace of Cups, and the Prince of Cups. And then to clarify those, I'm using the traditional Rider-Waite, and you have the Empress, the 5 of Swords, the Hermit, the 8 of Swords, the 9 of Wands, the Hierophant, the 7 of Wands, and the Hanged Man. You're coming out of a harsher time to step into some new perspectives. And every time we do that, there are lessons and consequences and restarts and setbacks and a forward trajectory as well. With your 9 of Swords being in reverse, this time that you've been experiencing of going in and removing all of these individual swords from your back has made a lasting effect. It's caused movement for you to shift into a more positive mindset. This is the universe, but I think with the imagery here, this is actually the world. Because we have these beings in the corner. I don't know why this doesn't want to... There you go. So being able to come out of that darker time and see that the world is your oyster, and by your, I mean yours. Like, seeing that the world is actually in your hands. Because you're coming into your power here, knowing that you have a higher perspective at your back. And though this queen looks like she's been through a battle recently, she's full of energy and confidence because she saw her way through. And with the Queen of Swords, that's an ability to nurture your idealism and put a better application of action to work or to practice. And then with the Two of Torches, you're learning now how to make better decisions for yourself and to choose which path you're willing to take based off of the connectivity that you have with your higher self, what you've learned by trusting and having faith in something outside of yourself as you've gone through this process of transformation. And what it has done for you is it's opened up new opportunities for emotional understanding and growth. And then you quite quickly shift from that ace, which is the starting point, a new beginning, to the prince. So without even having to repeat cycles, it's almost, okay, look at this way. This prince is staring at the cup. It's almost like, say, if you start at an ace, you make your way up to 10, and then you graduate to a prince in the suit. This one here already knows what's in that cup. And he knows that he has the power to manipulate the water all around him. So why... It's almost like he's contemplating, like, I know what's in this cup is going to make me feel sick. I'm going to drink that when I'm the powerful one. You know? And to put it like that, I mean, you've already been through the process of development. And now you can look at what you've learned to the application of the new beginning, so you don't have to repeat any cycles because you have a point of reference on how you made it through and traversed those waters before. Though you do have the Empress in reverse here, and I feel like though her energy is on the table, with it being followed up by the Five of Swords, before you can fully embody the balance that it takes to become your own inner empress, somebody who has mastery of all of the elements, the mind, the body, the spirit, yeah, that's the three. But when it comes to the elements, you know, your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your spirit, and then the necessity to kind of pick up after yourself and take a step back and reassess, and then go inward with the Hermit here, will lead you to becoming, you know, taking all the way back to becoming the Empress in the future, because what you're doing now is disentangling yourself from limiting beliefs that have caused you to feel in the past as though you're up against everything and there's never going to be a break. The defeat, a sense of defeatedness, the feeling of being defeated making you stuck. Because when you engage in that, you take your opportunity to learn that higher lesson away. Because what you then do is offer yourself up to be in resistance. And so maybe there's still a bit of work to do here with these two extra cards, being the Seven of Wands and the Hanged Man. So in the past having and harboring these negative beliefs, or even reaffirming them to where they had a stronghold over you. Maybe, I am sorry. My cats engage with me while I do tarot, and they change and do things, and and the fact that they were just being so needy and calm and lazy to now running full speed around my house. I feel like that's like your reinvigoration being ignited. And coming out of this energy here that was established by your own thoughts is the thing that you're gaining perspective on. And once you really fully download that clarity, that's when, this Hierophant and the Empress will upright themselves for you to engage with. Because I think you're having to just kind of gain that perspective of like, whoa, I got through that just as easily as I got myself into that, all by shifting my perspective. And the perspective shifted to feel defeated and stuck at one point also. So just standing guard against the cycles and just having an anticipation that when that happens again, I will not restart this whole thing. I will seamlessly continue from my Ace of Cups to my Prince of Cups because I know what to do. Have a fail-safe prepared for when you feel those lower vibrational energies, like reminding yourself you've gained that perspective already and you don't have to be tied up to face the music yet again. So now I'm going to use the same Cosmic Slumber deck to get some clarifiers. What is pile 2 coming out of with this 5 of Swords, please? Thank you. 7 of Cups, 10 of Torches, and the Ace of Torches. As I said, you're coming out of a shift of perspective. Or you're shifting into a new perspective. You're coming out of an old perspective that no longer served you and you're shifting into a new one. So, seeing that, look at these cups. This is the message received. They're spilling into the water that is encompassing this being. Imagine them plunging in after these cups fell and then trying to get the liquid back into the cups frantically. But there's like a look of peace on their face because they have given up on that and realize that as that water mixes into the water surrounding or whatever liquid's in the cup, it still touches their skin, not drowning or holding your breath as you try to fix something that you can't fix, as you try to undo something that can't be undone, and just surrendering to it. And also, when I look at it this way, I can't see them, but when I look at it in the screen, if you just unfocus your eyes a little bit, there's a face right here, there's a face right there, there's faces all around. So knowing that you're never alone, knowing that you can pick up and start new and kind of brush off the scrapes of the old and just allow something to change within you without the circumstances around you being any different. Because also, that'll make you feel like you don't have as much pressure on you. You're not overworked. You're no longer feeling like your hands are full and like there's nothing new to receive. Like you can't do anything new because you have all of this stuff before you in your hands right now. You're coming out of that and allowing yourself to just be for a little while, because then you also have the Ace of Torches, which is the Ace of Wands. So that has ignited a new sense of direction in you that came directly from the inner self. Now, what causes them to feel stuck, overpowered, and up against everything? Disharmony in your relationships. And you know, with this one, they're in a triangle, and even though traditionally the Three of Cups is about your relationships with people, I feel like this is also about the mind, body, spirit, because it's, like I said, a triangle. Triangles being a representation of the mind, body, spirit, and the mind, body, spirit being the fragmented triad inside of you. What causes you to feel all this negativity? A disconnect between your mind, your body, and your spirit. And that also influences your relationships with people. Okay. And you also have the Hermit again, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Princess of Swords. So, what if the sensation of disharmony within the self and others is literally just meant to be an indicator for you that it's time to go inward and do some more work? Because when you don't, seeing as that's what the Hermit does, by the way, and your Hermit is upright, when you don't do that, you become oversaturated in emotion. She's surrounded fully by water. There are rain clouds above head, and her cup is just about empty, and she's wanting what was in there. It's like wanting control, but losing control when it's in reverse, because you're not tending to the inner wounds and triggers that cause you to feel more stable when you pay attention to those. And then what that does is it creates you to act kind of immaturely. And maybe not like an immature person, but not in the word was congruence, but I can't think of the definition of that right now, so if that doesn't make sense, I'm going to try to figure out a different one. It's not a reflection of the maturity you have gained through your experience when you act from an emotionally charged state with the disregard of your inward reflection. So it kind of solidifies its own cycle. If you do the inner work, those cups are refilled. Now I was told also to ask, what are you learning from the Hermit's or the Hangman's perspective? Alright. The Six of Pentacles. How to give and take. How to receive and share. You're learning things, and then you're learning how to be an influence on the people around you. And influence on yourself. Being able to maintain multiple types of perspective. You can feel your feelings and validate those feelings by letting them be there, but also not losing sight of your sense of reason, your purpose, and your connection to that higher self that helps you in these times. So now I'm going to read some direct message cards. I surrender to the power greater than me. With a butterfly, so you're transforming. And then there is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. And by sexy, it could just be attractive. What do you attract in your life? But everything. So your authentic truth is what's going to attract the life you wish to lead to you. And, maybe that's a partner. Either way. These are the oracle cards from the Ask Your Guides book written by Sonia Choquette. I provide a link in the description of every video. It is a book that teaches you how to better understand the universal communication and how to interact with your guides, or how your guides might be interacting with you. And these are just the guides that are around you now, and the spiritual influences who would like you to access their availability as you go through these shifts. You have new beginnings with the Divine Father, psychic awareness with the Divine Soul, and solitude with the higher self. So yeah, you're really coming into your own here right now. You're going through a lot of transformative energy. I'm going to read from the book to get more clarity. New beginnings with the Divine Father. Courage, desire, initiation, creativity. The spark of life from your Divine Father is igniting your imagination, stirring your creative genius, and instilling in you a strong desire to bring about change. Now is the perfect time for you to act upon your impulses and initiate new beginnings, especially in those areas of your life that leave you presently dissatisfied. Trust your desire for change and ask the Divine Father to give you the courage to initiate it. Commit to your unique new ideas. Start writing that book you've been thinking about. Open that business you're secretly desiring. Or break the ice in a new relationship with someone you've held back from. The Divine Father encourages you to act in confidence. All of the elements in your success are in place. Don't hesitate, don't overthink, and don't play it safe. Take a leap of faith and commit fully to what you really want. Your Divine Father's message to you is go for it. You won't fail. Okay. Psychic awareness with the Divine Soul. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, reception, and telepathy. Your Divine Soul is awakening, and with it, your psychic abilities are becoming more alive. You more evolved and specific than basic intuition. Your psychic faculties are giving you awareness to the fourth dimension and are coming into contact with discarnate, enlightened helpers who can assist and guide you in beautiful ways. You may start accessing divine music or tap in a new healing energy. You also may receive telepathic messages and have clairvoyant visions. Heed your newly aroused psychic faculties and don't doubt the specific and profound transmissions flowing toward you. Record your dreams, believe in your hunches, and accept the symbols and sigils being relayed to you from a psychic realm. Trust your vibes and embrace your psychic channels fully. What you're communicating is essential to fulfilling your purpose. Ask your Divine Soul to lead you. The message to you is embrace and trust what you receive. That's a good one. You're really coming into who you are, aren't you? Solitude with the higher self. Observation, contemplation, renewal, and listening. Your desire to seek solitude is appropriate at this time. You're being counseled by your higher self to retreat and to renew your soul through quiet contemplation. Your nervous system has been overstimulated and you can't absorb any more input from the outer world. Step away and give yourself the necessary peace and time alone you require to revitalize your system. In doing so, you'll begin to sense, feel, and even hear your voice, or the voice of your higher self, but only when you step into your more natural surroundings. Reconnect with nature in whatever way is practical given your circumstance. Fully open your heart to your higher self. Even if you fear that you can't make contact, you are making contact. Furthermore, your higher self asks you to take your time when contemplating your circumstances and considering your options. Resist the temptation to yield to any sense of urgency. There is no emergency. Your true direction will make itself known if you're patient. Your higher self also alerts you to the fact that not all the necessary pieces of information to make the best decision may be apparent to you yet. Your higher self wisely counsels that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is do nothing, and their message to you is to be quiet and wait. And if you are awakening into a psychic awareness, suddenly usual experiences that you have with the physical world will suddenly become overwhelming because you're receiving information from every angle, or you're feeling, like, it said clairsentience, you're feeling different energies from all directions. So the fact that you do have the Hermit card here 3 times technically with this Solitude card, being able to replenish your own energy and filter out some of that stuff that you pick up as you live through your day might be, something that is new to you. And as you practice that, you'll see the benefit of it, because what if some of the things that get you so stirred up in your own stuff is something that does come from from outside of you? So being able to spend some time alone and ask yourself questions about what you're feeling and what you're going through, and is that really me, and why do I feel that way? And just following the trails of questions. If you just ask one, curiosity questions can often lead you right to the core of the cause, and allowing yourself the time to do that, making time to do that, could be essential to your spiritual growth in the future. I think that's all I have for you, pile number 2. I hope it resonated, and I hope that I was able to benefit you in some kind of way, and I hope to have you come again. Thank you. Hello, this is the message from your higher self if you chose pile number 3. I'll be using the Orien's Animal deck here. And I do believe you got extra cards from the Oracle deck too, so we'll get into that in depth later. You have the Judgment card, the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords in reverse, and then the Knight of Swords, Justice, and the 5 of Pentacles. So starting out with the Judgment card, let me go ahead and get your clarifiers from the Rider-Waite deck. You have the Queen of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the World in reverse, and the Emperor upright. So, also that 5 of Wands is in reverse. I can't remember if it said it. So with this Judgment card, a cicada goes through a pretty intense life cycle and transformation through their specific metamorphosis. And with this card looking like it's in reverse when it's upright is interesting to me, because I feel as though what you have done is come to this new place, this end of a cycle, and taken everything that was before you and flipped it on its head. You radically changed your perspective of your circumstance. And you're able to hold that experience as a, the word, like with pride, even if when you went through it, it didn't feel great. But now that you have, and you've learned, and you've seen yourself transform, you can hold that out and let it be an offering that you share in the world. You're coming into a new place of being that is giving you a perspective of someone who can help through leadership and example and modeling the behavior, because you've done the work. And you have the King of Swords here with a crow. In Norse mythology, a crow is the symbol of the eyes of Odin. And that's like the universe having its watchful eye over everything. And with this king being in reverse, I feel like something that you've learned to shift into lately is releasing the control and surrendering to the moment so that you don't act from a lower vibrational established pattern of the past that you're trying to outgrow or ready to outgrow. And you're allowing yourself to connect to that higher perspective in the moment. Because then you also have the Knight of Swords here. And with the Knight of Swords, it has some, I don't know what kind of bird, but birds are messengers in general. And maybe accessing that higher perspective through this messenger who has that view. It offers you a more refined way to deliver what message you need to express in the moment. Because the Knight of Swords is about communication. It's about saying what you need to say in a way that does not cause resentment, and also as it is necessary so that you do not establish resentful feelings as the moment passes, when the opportunity for you to exercise that truth presented itself. Because then you also have Justice with this owl. So that's 3 birds in a row. And owls are about wisdom. And with this full moon in the background here and a new moon, you're knowing that you can balance yourself through the cycles and radically start new ventures, and allowing the gratitude for the opportunity to do so to ignite you. And I think you're receiving downloads lately on how to function on this level. Obviously with these 3 birds here, you're learning wisdom from something outside of yourself, or at least you're engaging with it. And then you have this 5 of Pentacles here. I feel like circumstantially, regardless of the circumstance, you will rise. Keeping your focus here on this shining light. Somehow, as I mentioned with the Judgment card, being able to show what you've gone through and allow that to motivate people around you. For some reason, instead of this bear, and I guess it has to do with perspective, but instead of this bear being stranded on a block of ice, surrounded by melting ice that's turning into water, and being in a very grave situation where the threat of its life is at play, I saw this as being more of a beacon of light. Imagine this polar bear and the star above it creating a lighthouse for those who feel like they are drowning and in danger. Then you have the Queen of Cups here, so you are really coming into your own power when it comes to understanding yourself in the emotional areas of your life. You're not being oversaturated and emotionally charged in the moment. Like I said here, you're being able to step outside of the situation for a moment, assess what needs to be said, and then avoid the conflict. And not even avoid it in a negative way. You're bypassing the conflict by using, you have the Knight of Swords again, by using an assertive, self-assured, and gentle form of communication to deliver your message the way that you want it to be received. And that's starting a whole new beginning for you in your spiritual journey. Though right now you might not be able to see that the world is opening up to you and you can have literally whatever you want, you are putting yourself in a position where you are gaining a lot more self-mastery and self-control, and you're starting to see how much power you really do have and in just sitting sound. So I'm going to get some more from the Animal Oriens as clarifiers. What are these messengers here? You have the Ten of Swords. So it's just more confirmation that you've learned through your experience. The things that made you feel like giving up actually created a will in you. Anything else on that question? I got no but to look up a starfish, so I guess that's what I'm going to do then. Also, you have 2 5s here, and I'm on 55%, so that just solidified me bringing up the fact that 55s are about releasing what no longer serves you, and I feel like you're doing that these days, so congratulations. Ooh. The starfish is seen as a celestial symbol. They represent infinite divine love. And in addition to love, the starfish holds the characteristics such as guidance, vigilance, inspiration, brilliance, and intuition. So, dang! All of the efforts the past has made on you to stifle your spirit has failed. And you're learning who to be and how you are. Okay. What caused the conflict in the past? Okay, wrong question. What else will prevent the conflict in the future? The King of Wands in reverse with the Lion here. I think giving up the control of a situation, being right, your pride, and allowing yourself to just hear what someone who was once perceived as it would be like someone you spar with. It'll come to me maybe. Instead of perceiving the person or people or things in situations you find yourself as competition, you can look at it as opportunity to engage with a self outside of yourself. People are reflections of our inner shadows. So maybe something that would make you want to engage in an argument with somebody is now being seen as some part of yourself that you've expressed compassion towards. And then you also have the Four of Swords, which is weird because there are 5 swords. Oh, I'm so sorry. But It is the Five of Swords. That's another 5 too. You have the Five of Swords here with the manta ray. You know, a manta, or maybe not a manta, well, yeah, I guess, whatever. A manta ray and a stingray look the same, but they're very different. So imagine yourself releasing that sword that could be the barb that could cause pain, suffering, conflict. Releasing that and becoming more docile. Not to your detriment, just a safer place for someone to express their own truth as you authentically do the same for yourself. Like I said, with the Judgment card, leading by example. Why is the World in reverse? You have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's weird because they go right together. I feel like it's a perspective. What's keeping their perspective from seeing that everything is okay? You have the Eight of Swords in reverse, the Five of Wands in reverse, and that's 55 twice. You have the Knight of Cups upright. Oh wait, the 5 isn't in reverse, I'm sorry. Then you also have the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Queen of Cups upright, and the Seven of Wands. What makes you not see that there's opportunity in your life? You've been focusing so much on your inward experience that you forgot to reflect on what it is that you could want out of it physically. It's put up a bit of a barrier. And this is a very small, not a microorganism, that's the last one, but it's a very small, beautiful creature. It's delicate. So maybe you have some unseen reserves or reservations in your subconscious that are keeping you safe. But then you have the Knight of Cups, which means that there is an offering to unfold for you. And it's at a slow pace. So maybe as you allow yourself to open up a little bit more and allow yourself, because since this is the Knight of Cups, allow yourself to be vulnerable. That's when you'll see that movement come into your life, because the Knight of Cups is generally a more slower progression. And then you also have the Queen of Swords with the Queen of Cups again. So again, that is the ability. Ooh, and this is a hummingbird sitting. So, like, the ability to slow down enough, and you got a slug or snail, also slow. Slowing down enough to allow your emotionally charged reaction to be transmuted so that you can stay vulnerable. You don't have to keep your guard up. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to hide. Because you are not a microorganism. You are huge. And also, these guys are big in their world. This is a new time for you to figure out who you really are. And once you allow yourself to open up to the opportunity for that to express your physical experience, you're not going to see the opportunities when they come up to you, because you're going to be a little bit too in your head about it. Might miss out on something that's right in front of you when you're expressing a little bit too much introspection. Don't let anything pass you by. Like I said with this Knight of Swords, when the opportunity passes and you didn't actually say anything or do anything, But yeah, just let your guard down a little bit. You have nothing to be scared of, for sure. This is a very positive reading, and I am proud of you for your efforts because it's getting you somewhere. But don't let this hold you back. Even if it's subconscious, like I said, being able to be so introspective, you can also be introspective about your introspections. So now I'm going to read to you some direct message cards. I think you got extra of these too. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. So presence being the key word here. Yes, you can be introspective in real time, but don't get swept away. Energy flows where my intention goes. Ooh, another confirmation there. Focus on what you do want to see in your life coming forth through this world and Wheel of Fortune. The presence of love will always cast out fear, knowing that you are divinely protected, so you don't have to protect yourself, replacing your fears with that unconditional love of the universe. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. Another hummingbird, being able to take flight now from a higher perspective. And I let go of the shadows of my past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. I said that about people who you are in conflict with or have been in conflict with, being a representation of a shadow self that you can have compassion for. Gifts with the joy guides. Actually, I remember. I wanted to do them this way. When I pulled them, I just put them down wrong. Denial with the divine helpers. Oh, let me explain these cards. Sorry. These are the oracle cards from the Ask Your Guides book. It's a book about how the universe communicates with us all the time and learning how to cultivate that language in your mind. And these are beings who are around you right now who wish to assist you in your journey and shifts that you're making right now. You have the physical body with Gaia, again, denial with the divine helpers, balance with divine teachers, and then gifts with the joy guides. So releasing denial to enter your body will balance you and allow gifts to come in. However, I'm still going to read from the booklet to give you more clarity on what these cards mean. 22, denial, divine helpers, confusion, distortion, ignorance, and compromise. Your divine helpers are here to help you take off the blinders and take off your blinders and more honestly assess the difficulties in your intimate relationships. Although you prefer not to believe that ignorance is bliss, the truth is that denial is not a river in Egypt, nor is it a genuine form of protection. Ooh. Your guides gently ask you to summon the courage to honestly admit the real problems that exist in your relationships. As difficult as they may be, until you do so, there's no chance that these shadows will ever heal. So, for example, admit when your wife isn't just tipsy, but rather is drunk, as she can be on many nights. Or admit, at least to yourself, that when your son says he can't find a job, it's because he's not looking that hard. Or that when your partner says that he must work late every single night for months, that an affair or other discretion is likely. Most important, Admit that you might be hiding from your loved ones. Acknowledge your fears, addictions, excuses, and failures honestly and with compassion. Realize that what your mind blots out, your heart knows, and so does everyone else. In other words, when you're in denial, you're only kidding yourself. What your mind blots out, your heart knows. Your divine helpers want you to acknowledge these unpleasant realities because until you do, you'll be stuck with them. Not every unpleasant reality needs to be changed or challenged, however. Sometimes it's best to compromise or let things be. If your partner is generally sloppy, for example, but is an otherwise gem, let it go. However, if your partner is in serious trouble or vice versa, you're only harming yourself or others in perpetuating the problem by denying it. Your divine helper's message to you is to take off the blinders and open up to the truth about others and yourself. Only then can you learn and grow from past problems. Physical body with Gaia. Nutrition, physical well-being, groundedness, practicality. Gaia, the divine Earth Mother, is present, making you aware of your marvelous physical body, her great gift to you. Be grateful for this gift. It's a wondrous temporary home for your spirit. She asks that you give it the respect and attention it deserves and needs, so take care of it with love and attention. Give it adequate rest, a proper diet, and a calm and peaceful environment. Spend time with nature, and as the earth is your true mother to your body, and it will restore it. The better you care for your body, the more it will serve your spirit. Listen to your body, its gut feelings, its flutters, its impulses, as Gaia speaks to you through it. This is the Earth Mother cradling you, protecting you, and guiding you through each day. She advises you not to live in your head alone and ignore your physical self. Without a strong connection to your body, you will be weakened and unable to achieve your goals. Gaia's message is pay attention to your body. Balance with divine teachers. Support, codependency, manipulation, generosity. You're in the delicate process of learning how to properly balance the flow of give and take in your personal relationships. And it's time to evaluate how you're doing. Are you giving too much, leaving you feeling resentful or angry? Are you withholding when you could be giving more, leaving you feeling guilty and defensive? Your divine teachers can help you learn to better align your relationships so that you neither give nor take too much as a means of controlling others. And they counsel you to be honest about your motivations when dealing with others. You know in your heart of hearts what drives your interest in them. Do you give with a secret agenda of you owe me? Do you create dependency in and control? Do you create dependency in and control over others with your kindness? Or do you withhold for fear that you might be taken advantage of, keeping people guessing about your motives and intentions? Your divine teachers are on hand to help you answer these questions. They lovingly assure you that relationships are the most difficult of all spiritual classrooms, and the lesson of proper give and take are the most difficult of skills to learn. Have compassion for yourself as you seek balance with others. Ask your divine teachers to help you become more aware of how you give and receive in all relationships, not just the romantic kind. Their message to you is there's no difference between giving and receiving love. Oof. Gifts with the joy guides. Receiving surprises, kindness, and blessing. The universe is constantly showering you with gifts. The problem arises when so many of these divine gifts go unnoticed and are therefore unaccepted. Your joy guides are on hand, though, acting as messengers to help you correct this problem. They ask you to start counting your blessings day after day, taking care not to miss any or take them for granted. Your joy guides delight in showering you with gifts and encourage you to expand your heart's capacity to receive all that they have to offer. Start each morning by asking them to surprise you with something wonderful during the day. Then, just before going to bed, list all of the wonderful things that they've bestowed upon you. See how the list grows longer and longer each day. Their only request is that you acknowledge these offerings and thank the Divine Mother and Father for their endless generosity. The Joy Guide's message to you is open your heart and expect good things to come. So I feel like these cards really just confirmed what the other cards were saying and give you a bit of guidance on how to engage with what you're learning from like an outward perspective. I think meditation and spending some time with yourself is a good way to gather those reflective, intuitive, inward perspectives so that you can like practice it in real time instead of trying to assess what to do in real time and miss the moment. Also, like it all said, just being able to release just one more layer of self-preservation and understand that you are divinely taken care of and provided for, and everything you experience is just more opportunity for you to advance. That is all I have for you, pile number 3. I hope this resonated and that I was able to offer you some encouragement in your path via your higher self's message to you. Thank you so much and have a good evening.